Alright, so this is a very quick video I decided to make to help my students. So thought of sharing that publicly in YouTube. So the topic is how do we create a multiplication table in Excel using absolute cell referencing. So there are two kind of referencing methods in cell referencing in Excel. One would be the relative cell referencing. For an example, if you got a set of numbers like this. For example, this could be a price and this could be quantity QTY, and this total will go into this cell. So you just need to multiply price into quantity. So click on the price, multiply with the asterisk 8, then click on quantity, then you got 10. So in order to replicate this multiplication, only thing you need to do is click on the fill handle on the resulting cell and drag it down. If I keep going down, this is what I get. So if you look at, I click on the result here and observe the formula bar, you can see that's the result of E3 and F3, E3 and F3. If I click on the G4 cell, you can see there is a result of E4 and F4. Similarly, G5 going to be E5 multiplied by F5. Currently, I don't have any value in there, but if I decide to put some values in it, there you go, it's gonna show that. That is going to be the relative cell referencing. It's relative cell referencing. But if I just say I want to calculate a tax amount or discount and discount amount is specified in another cell, 10% in M2 cell. So if I want to propagate that, if I want to apply the discount for this particular price, it's going to be 10 multiplied by this. It's only one. But if I try to go relative cell referencing, that is not going to work because it is going to follow that cell referencing. So if you look at this H3 cell, you can see that is multiplying G3 with M2 here, G4 with M3, which is currently nothing in there. So how do we make sure that always you reference to that particular M2 cell by when you using the fill handle and drag down, you need to stop this cell, this portion of the multiplication, the formula stops at M2. It does not go down. So M is column numbering and the numerical part, this 2, is a row numbering. You just need to lock that at 2 so that it does not go to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 like that. So how do we do that? So there's no the column numbering does not really matter. We just need to stop it going along the rows. So what do we do? I'm just going to lock that portion. I'm looking at this formula here. Number 2 is for that going along the rows. I'm just going to lock that with the dollar symbol. Press enter. Answer remained the same, but now when I drag down with the fill handle, I can see all these numbers are multiplying with that cell, does not go below the next proceeding cells. How if I click on here, you can see G4 multiplied by M2, then G5 multiplied by M2. So that is basically the absolute cell referencing. So going back to the topic I have mentioned in the title, how I'm going to use this, how I'm going to apply this theory in uh, creating a multiplication table. So multiplication table is a multiplication mosaic, and also you can say. So basically 1, 2. So I'm just going to use the usual filling technique here. 9. Let's go until maybe let's go until 20. 20. and I'm going to change the cell width here, sorry, column width, make it 4 will do. Yeah, that sounds good. Then 2, going down until 10. Okay, so this is my multiplication table. If you look at the numbering here, I'm going to have here 4, obviously, right? Then 3 into 2 is going to be 6. Similarly, so it's gonna keep going like that. But if you look at the very last cell, 20 into 20, I'm going to have 400. So I'm going to create this using absolute cell referencing. So pay close attention how it's been done. So let me highlight both. Okay, hold it. All right, so let's look at the very first cell here. So that's going to be 2 multiplied by 2. So let's create that mathematical relationship here. Equal sign left multiplied by, sorry, asterisk, and start over equal. Maybe start with the top, multiply by, there you go. So that you can see E3 multiplied by D4. E3 multiplied by D4. So if we try to use the fill handle, we're going to end up with an undesirable result. But logically, it makes sense what we have done. This cell, E4, is a multiplication of left to the top, right? So if you use a fill handle, that is going to replicate the same mathematical formula. If you look at my E5 cell, you can see again it's doing multiplying 3 with 4. One to the left with one to the top. Same here. Left with top. Left with top. So that's the relationship we have created here. 240, how we got that? 5 multiplied by 48. So, but that is not what we really after. What we really need, when you use the fill handle, I want that multiplication to follow the rows. So the left part of it need to update along with the filling, but the top part has to be locked with number 2. So for an example, I just need to stop that going from row to row to row. The numbering part has to stop in 3. So 3 multiplied by 2, 4 multiplied by 2, 5 multiplied by 2. So now let's take a closer look at the multiplication, the formula. So that is E3 multiplied by D4. So E3 multiplied by D4. So when you go to the uh, next cell below, I just need to multiply D5. Sorry, just need to multiply, yeah, E3 still with D5. E3 with D6. E3, so I just need to stop this number going from anything above 3. So how are we going to modify that? So that's a 3. I'm going to lock that with the dollar symbol. So now we cannot go, it's going to stop at number 3. So we can drag it down now. There you go. So we have locked that multiplication going along the row numbers. So always it stopped at E3. D5 multiplied by E3, D6 multiplied by E3, all that. Okay, so that makes sense. So going along the row, we just lock that number. But now let's look at going along the columns. So the, the lettering part. So if I drag this, you can see we had the same problem like we had before, right? So we look at the multiplication here, we have multiplied d4 with e3, one to the left with the one to the top. Similarly, um, we have multiplied one to the top with one to the immediate left, one to the top, immediate left. If you look at 240, one to the top with the immediate left. So same exact result. So in this case, we're gonna need to lock that we are following this number two, need to stop following us with along the column. So when I'm dragging, I just need to stop. What do you call the this part? I just need to stop at D. Should not go to E, F, G. We just need to stop that. So how do we do that? I look at this formula, and this time I'm gonna lock the D. There you go. So always you need to look at these are two different entities, right? E3, so that E represent the columns and the number represent the rows. Press enter. You can see the answer remains the same, but now if I drag it, there you go. So if you look at a random cell here, now we can see we are multiplying G3 with D4 and H3 with D4, I3 with D4. So pay attention here. That's K3 with D4, K3 with D4. So we've locked all the numbers multiplying with that. So once I get this particular formula, that's all pretty simple now. Now onwards, only thing you need to do is just select the entire, select that portion of the row and drag it down with the fill handle. And boom, there you go. So that is your multiplication table. So hope that's helpful. And yeah, if you have questions, feel free to leave a comment. Thank you.